WrestleMania 40 is nearly upon us. And before we get to WrestleMania 40, here at Danny Nadun, we're going to take you back in time and we're going to give you the top 10 best WrestleManias of all time. Now, the title is best. Doesn't exactly mean this is my personal favourite. My personal favourite would have maybe some not so good or received WrestleManias in there. I'm a bit of a nostalgia man. I love the old school wrestling as well as the current wrestling. But yes, here at Danny Nadun, the panel, which is me, has carefully selected what we consider, again, me, the best WrestleManias of all time when it comes to matches, moments, and the overall spectacle. In the meanwhile, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Number 10 is WrestleMania 3. This is the oldest WrestleMania on the list. This is a personal favourite of mine. Yes, it doesn't have the best wrestling throughout the card. It does have a lot of matches, but the event itself, it shouts big event feel. The crowd was electric, the stadium, the roster that they had at that point. Everything about this event, actually, it's an easy watch, even though maybe you might not fancy the wrestling how it was back then. But there were some really good underrated matches. Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules, six-man tag, Hart Foundation and Danny Davis versus Santana and the Bulldogs. And then we have magic moments like Ronnie Piper retiring after beating Adrian Adonis. We all know what happened in Hogan, Andre the Giant, the Slam, that big match feel in the main event. But for me, what makes this event so special was Savage Steamboat Intercontinental title. The best match in the 80s in WWE, the best Mania match in the 80s in WWE, one of the best Mania matches of all time. Classic, it tops it off. It's such a big event. I love it to bits, and it's number 10. So, number 9 is WrestleMania 39, last year's WrestleMania. It's still very in the memory, and that's probably why it's easier to put it in here. Yes, there was 2 nights. You know, the matches can have more time, and it's more likely that these matches will be considered good matches. It's a big event feel, this Mania. It meant a lot. People were interested into it, and it had, for me, 4 really good matches. There were some decent matches. There were some duds. We don't need to talk about them. But Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, well, that was an amazing match. The main event of night 1, Usos versus Zayn and Owens, cracker of a match. The main event of the whole event in night 2, Rhodes, Roman Reigns, for me, had big event feel, massive match, atmosphere. It delivered. Wrong result, but still a great match. But the Intercontinental title match for me, the match of the year in WWE, Gunther defeating Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in an absolute brawl. What a matchup. So I can't ignore the fact that this Mania deserves to be in here due to match quality. So it comes in at number 9. WrestleMania 26 comes in at number 8. For me, this is an underrated WrestleMania. It's got some really good matches in there. And to be fair, it's an absolute stacked card. Now, underrated gems like Orton versus Rhodes and DiBiase. It was actually a really good match. The Money in the Bank ladder match. Wrong winner, now we can tell. But it was a good match. Triple H for Sheamus was solid. Jericho Edge, one of the most underrated matches of that year, you know, doesn't get the credit it deserves. Cena Batista was a solid match. But the reason why this event is in this is because of the main event. Undertaker vs Shawn Michaels in an epic rematch from the year before. That match was better, but the event really sucked. This was a good event with a very good match. And that's probably why it's in this top 10. I can't ignore the fact that I have to have one of the best Mania matches in here. Good event, made better by the main event. Number 8 is WrestleMania 26. So WrestleMania 31, 2015 is number 7. This is actually a really good Mania. And I'm going to tell you something. I actually didn't watch this until the end of that year because I didn't really pay attention to wrestling. I wasn't really into it at that point. But looking back now, it's a slim card, 7 matches, all under 20 minutes. No really bad match. The ladder match with Daniel Bryan winning was a fantastic match with the right result. Orton Seth Rollins was a solid match with a fantastic finish. I really personally liked Sting versus Triple H. I think it had nostalgia. Was it the wrong result? I don't think it was. Triple H wanted to win, and he got it. Cena Rusev, yeah, it was a good match. Undertaker Wyatt, it was a good match. But the main thing here was Seth Rollins coming to interfere in the main event. They're cashing his Money in the Bank contract to win the WWE title. Send the fans happy because they didn't want either Lesnar or Reigns winning. It's a really good Mania. Solid Mania. No massively amazing matches, but a good Mania. And it's number 7. Coming in at number 6 is WrestleMania 20. This is a very iconic Mania because it was the 20th edition, Madison Square Garden. It had moments and it had good matches. John Cena winning his first title in the WWE in the opener. Great moment. Evolution versus the Rock and Sock Connection. It was a great moment. Chris Jericho versus Christian was actually a really underrated wrestling match. Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, another underrated match. Right result, people loved it. The Undertaker coming back as the dead man. It might not have been a great match, but it was a fantastic moment. So this Mania had a lot of moments as well as some really solid matches. The main event here, you know, people don't talk about it a lot because of who won it and the moment after it. Iconic at the time, but unfortunately not. But Benoit defeating Shawn Michaels and Triple H in, for me, the best triple threat match in Mania history when it comes to for the world title. It just makes this even better. It's a fantastic spectacle. It had big event feel and it had a great main event, and it's number 6. Number 5 is WrestleMania 30. I'm going to let you into a little secret. This isn't one of my favourite Manias. I wouldn't even have it top 20. But why is it one of the best Manias? I can't deny the fact that it had an absolute fantastic story going into it. It had an absolute fantastic opener in Bryan versus Triple H. And it had a fantastic finish and the right result with Daniel Bryan defeating Batista and Randy Orton. One of the main reasons. But there are a few other things. Cesaro winning the Battle Royal was surprising and a moment that people love and look back at. The Shield being the Shield. Brock Lesnar defeating Undertaker might have been a bad match, but it's a moment we're never going to forget, and people might be negative about it, might say it now, but it's still a massive moment. And I'll tell you what, John Cena, Bray Wyatt wasn't a bad match. Again, I think this is a good Mania. I don't love the Mania, but I can't just be favourable and be biased. I have to accept that this had a great story and some good matches, and it's number 5. WrestleMania 21. This was the dawn of a new era. We're going to go straight to the main event here. Though they weren't the greatest matches, the reason why this Mania was considered a fantastic Mania, because it had these moments, passing of the torch. Cena, JBL was a bad match, but the right result and a good moment. Batista Triple H was a good match, not an amazing match, but the right result and a good moment. But why is this on this list? Undertaker, Randy Orton, underrated match, by the way, go watch that. The opening, Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, one of the best openers in Mania history, very underrated match. Edge winning the Money in the Bank, the first Money in the Bank match. What a match that is, with some star names in it. That's a great match, very good match. But why is it really in this list? Well, it's Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, one of the best matches in Mania history. What a match. Great matches, but that makes it where it is, because that is so damn watchable. Two of the best wrestlers of all time going at it. The crowd were electric, and it was actually the correct result at the time. I like WrestleMania 21. Go watch it. It's number 4. WrestleMania 10 comes in at number 3. And WrestleMania 10 over-delivered. And that's one of the main reasons it's so high. It's a good Mania, and it done better than it should have done. It had some good moments. Randy Savage beating Crush. It was a big name still. It was his last Mania. Obviously, Bret Hart beating Yokozuna to win the title. Getting his moment that he should have had the year before. That was a great ending. But the reason why this Mania is on this list is due to 2 absolute barnstormers. Bret Hart, he did double duty that night, and him and Owen Hart had the best ever opener at WrestleMania. Classic, go watch it. And then the ladder match. 5-star classic, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. Set the bar, what a match. And if people say, actually, in nowadays, it isn't that good. It wasn't nowadays, it was 1994, and what they did back then, it set the bar. I love that match, I could watch it over and over and over. This Mania overachieved, it shouldn't have done as good as it did. Yes, it's got a few duds, but it's got a lot of moments and 2 fantastic matches. And remember, Bret Hart walked out the champion. So it's number 3. Number 2 is WrestleMania 19. This is a stacked card, and the way they set the card up is actually perfect. You know, they sort of tell you, we're doing it in order of importance. I'm not saying that no match was important, but it was set up perfectly, and it had a lot of good moments, great matches. The main event, Brock Lesnar Angle, great match, great finish, brilliant way to end it. Rock Austin, the atmosphere for this semi-main was fantastic. The Rock getting his win over Austin, Austin's last match at the time, it was a fantastic moment now looking back at it. Triple H Booker T, we'll skip that one. But, you know, McMahon versus Hogan, well, that was a fantastic match. A lot of fun. I enjoyed that match watching it back. And then obviously Jericho, Shawn Michaels, another fondly remembered match. It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it watching it back. Very underrated. 2 classic wrestlers, 2 legends going at it for the first time. It's a great Mania. It's a Mania that's fondly remembered because it's just set up perfectly. And it's number 2. So WrestleMania 17 is number 1. Best pay-per-view of all time, let alone best WrestleMania. It's just this magic feel. It's something about it from the start to the end. Everything about it. The crowd are hooked. It's got moments and matches of magic. Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon, fun, enjoyable, loved it. TLC, oh wow, what a match, you know, part of this magical series. And That match had it all. Kurt Angle, Benoit doesn't get mentioned enough. What a match that was. Even Kane winning the hardcore title in a fun match with Ray the Big Show. That's actually a really magical moment. Triple H and Undertaker putting in a fantastic semi-main. Great match. Doesn't get rated as highly as others, but go watch it. That's a really solid match. And then the two biggest guys of the era, Austin Rock in a classic, the best WrestleMania of all time. People can, criticise the heel turn. That doesn't change the fact it was a great match, a great Mania, and a Mania that everyone loves. It's the best of all time. It's WrestleMania 17.